Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. You're not alone if you've ever wondered what makes a man irresistible to women. Most guys spend years chasing attraction the wrong way, focusing on looks, wealth, or memorizing pickup lines, without realizing that these things only scratch the surface. The real secret? It's not about trying harder to impress women. It's about becoming the kind of man that naturally draws them in, effortlessly. In today's video, we're breaking down 7 powerful traits that make 95.7% of women feel an undeniable attraction to a man. These aren't tricks or gimmicks. They're the deep instinctual qualities that create lasting magnetic attraction, rooted in confidence, presence, and an unwavering sense of self. Stay with me until the end, because once you understand these traits, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Let's dive in. 1. The man who knows how to tease and build tension. Attraction thrives on mystery, unpredictability, and emotional highs and lows. A man who understands how to tease effectively doesn't just capture a woman's attention, he holds it. Women are drawn to men who don't lay everything out too soon and who keep them engaged in a playful yet compelling dynamic. When things are too easy, when emotions are poured out without restraint, the excitement fades, but the emotional pull becomes undeniable when there's tension, when she's left wondering, and when she's caught between frustration and excitement. Teasing, when done right, triggers a rush of dopamine, the same chemical that fuels addiction. It's why women find themselves thinking about a man long after he's gone, replaying moments in her mind, analyzing his words, anticipating his next move. A well-placed challenge can make her heartbeat quicken, and a perfectly timed pause can make her crave more. It's the difference between being forgettable and being someone she can't shake off. A confident man knows how to balance playfulness and intrigue. Instead of complimenting her, he mixes in a light challenge. "Oh, you think you're cute? I'm still deciding." Instead of immediately validating her, he keeps her guessing, making her work for his approval in a way that excites rather than frustrates her. His words are never needy, never desperate. They carry an air of confidence, as if they enjoy the interaction, but aren't dependent on it. Mystery is another tool that amplifies attraction. A man who reveals too much too soon removes the thrill of discovery. When she has to wonder where she stands with him, when she's unsure whether he's genuinely interested or just enjoying the moment, her mind stays engaged. She starts paying closer attention, analyzing his reactions, and subtly seeking his approval. This is why a simple pause, a lingering gaze, a smirk before looking away can be far more powerful than a direct compliment. Body language plays a crucial role in building this tension. A man who understands the power of proximity and anticipation can make a woman's heart race without a single word. Moving in as if to kiss her, then pulling away with a teasing "not yet," leaves her yearning for more. Brushing against her lightly and creating distance makes her hyper-aware of his presence. The more she feels that push and pull, the more invested she becomes. Tension is the foundation of attraction. It's what keeps a woman coming back, what makes her crave the unpredictability of a man who doesn't follow the script. The excitement fades when she feels she has complete control over the dynamic, but she stays engaged when she's kept on edge and constantly wondering what will happen next. A man who knows how to tease isn't just playing games. He's creating an experience that lingers in her mind long after he's gone. 2. The man who can walk away controls the game. A man who can walk away is a man who is never truly at risk of losing. He does not operate from fear, does not cling to a fleeting connection, and does not let himself be swayed by emotions that demand he prove his worth. His presence is a privilege, not an entitlement, and a woman who senses this will naturally be drawn to him. Women chase what they perceive as valuable, and nothing holds more value than a man willing to walk away when his standards are unmet. A woman's respect for a man is rooted in the possibility of losing him. He becomes predictable if she knows with absolute certainty that he will always be there, no matter how she treats him. Predictability breeds complacency, and complacency kills attraction. When a man refuses to be taken for granted, he creates a dynamic where she must invest, prove herself, and work to maintain his presence. And this, more than any grand gesture or declaration of love, makes a man irresistible. The key to embodying this mindset is detachment, not from love, but neediness. A man who texts back instantly, who rearranges his life to accommodate a woman, who seeks validation through her attention, is a man who communicates desperation. He signals that she is his priority, that he is willing to chase her, and that his world revolves around her. And the moment she senses this, the balance shifts. He becomes one of many. A man who understands his worth does not chase. He responds when it is convenient. He engages only when it aligns with his standards, and never places one woman at the center of his life. His focus is on his purpose, his growth, and his ambitions. A woman can align with his journey or be left behind, but he will not pause for her. This certainty, this quiet confidence, compels her to pursue him. A woman must feel that a man is a choice, not a guarantee. She will never fully respect him if she is unafraid of losing him. But the moment she senses that he is willing to walk away, that he is not dependent on her validation, that he will not lower his standards to keep her, she begins to chase. The tables turn. He becomes the prize. Because, in the end, scarcity creates value, and the man who walks away is the man she will always want to follow. 3. The men create intimacy without saying a word. A man who understands the art of tension does not rely on words to spark desire. His presence alone creates an unspoken energy, a charge that lingers even before he speaks. He knows that attraction is not about lines or rehearsed charm, but about how he carries himself, holds her gaze a fraction longer than expected, and moves with certainty as if he belongs wherever he stands. This silent confidence does not demand attention, it commands it. Women are deeply attuned to subtle signals, the quiet indicators of a man's self-assurance. When he locks eyes with her, he does not look away too quickly or stare too long, just enough to let her feel his presence without making it obvious. There is no rush, no nervous energy, only an unshaken calm. When he finally speaks, his voice is slow and deliberate, each word measured, each pause intentional. He is in no hurry to fill the silence because he understands that silence can be a powerful tool. The slightest touch, if done with control, speaks louder than words. A moment of unnecessary closeness, the brush of fingers when handing her something, a light touch at the small of her back. These are not accidental gestures. They create a lingering awareness, a question left unanswered. He does not need to make his intentions overt. He lets her curiosity grow and enables the anticipation to build. Women crave the feeling of something about to happen, the space between certainty and uncertainty, the slow unraveling of desire that is never rushed but always intentional. What separates this man from the rest is his patience. He does not rush to prove his interest, does not seek instant gratification, and does not crumble under the pressure to impress. Instead, He lets the moment, allowing her to wonder, anticipate, and feel the weight of his presence without him needing to say a single word. And that, in itself, is what makes him unforgettable. 4. The man who makes her feel truly feminine. A woman's mind is often a whirlwind of thoughts, a constant cycle of planning, analyzing, and anticipating. She is used to carrying responsibilities, making decisions, and navigating the complexities of life. Yet, in the presence of a truly masculine man, she feels a shift, one that is both comforting and deeply intoxicating. He does not demand her submission, nor does he impose control. Instead, his presence allows her to let go, breathe, and embrace the softness she often has to suppress. It is in his eyes, steady and unwavering, that she finds security. A man with deep, powerful eye contact, without hesitation, communicates something unspoken yet undeniable: certainty. He does not avert his gaze out of nervousness, nor seek approval with his expression. He looks at her as if he already knows who he is, and in that certainty she feels safe to be simple. She no longer has to overthink her words or control her reaction. She can relax, lean into the moment, and just feel. His voice carries the same energy, calm, composed, deliberate. He does not rush his words, fidget, or seek reassurance in conversation. Instead, he speaks with a quiet confidence that commands attention. In a world where many men hesitate, unsure of themselves, a man who embodies composure stands out effortlessly. She listens to his words and how he delivers them, to the underlying presence that reassures her that he is in control, not of her, but of himself. When he touches her, there is intention. His hand on her lower back as they move through a crowded room is not possessive, but protective. His fingertips brushing against hers carry an unspoken promise. His touch does not beg for validation, it asserts his presence. In that moment, she feels undeniably feminine, not because he forces her into submission, but because he allows her to surrender to a feeling she cannot quite explain. A woman craves a man who makes her feel like a woman, not just in words, but in how he moves, speaks, and exists in her presence. The more she feels her femininity awakening around him, the more she seeks him, drawn to the balance he brings to her restless mind. It is not about dominance, it is about polarity, and desire is born in that space where masculine and feminine energies intertwine effortlessly. 5. The man with purpose and unstoppable growth. A man with purpose stands apart. He does not chase, does not plead, and does not rearrange his life in pursuit of fleeting validation. His focus is not on women, but on something more significant: a mission, a vision, a relentless pursuit of excellence. He wakes up with intent, confidently moves through life, and directs his energy towards something meaningful. This man captivates, commands respect without demanding it, and becomes irresistible without even trying. Women are drawn to men who are in motion, building, expanding, and improving. There is an unspoken allure in a man who is too busy crafting his legacy to seek approval. When he walks into a room, he carries an energy that speaks for itself, one of certainty, ambition, and quiet dominance. He does not need validation because his path is already fulfilling. He does not prioritize women because he understands that attraction is a byproduct of self-mastery, not the goal. On the other hand, a man without purpose becomes lost in the chase. He makes a woman the center of his world, believing he will win her love by giving her everything, but in reality, the more he orbits around her, the less she values him. A woman does not want to be a man's reason for living. She wants to be part of a man's journey. She wants to look at him and see someone going somewhere, someone she can admire, someone whose presence elevates her. This is why men who focus on self-improvement, physically, mentally, and financially, naturally command a different level of attraction. Strength, intelligence, and ambition create a gravitational pull. Women respect men who have discipline, push themselves beyond comfort, and continuously evolve. It is not just about money or status, but a relentless growth mindset. When a man lives with purpose, he walks differently, speaks differently. He does not operate from scarcity, fearing loss or rejection, because his foundation is built on something more profound than external validation. And when a man like this interacts with a woman, the dynamic shifts. She is no longer the prize to be won, he is. She starts wondering if she is good enough to be part of his world, and if she has the qualities to match his vision. She may test him, try to distract him, or even pull away to see if he wavers. But a man with purpose does not falter. He does not beg for attention or cling to what is uncertain. He remains steady, knowing that his value is not determined by a single person's presence or absence. Everything changes when a man stops chasing women and starts chasing his potential. Women take notice, respect deepens, and attraction follows naturally. He does not need to play games, does not need to prove his worth, and does not need to convince anyone to stay. He simply moves forward, and the right woman will either keep up or be left behind. He does not fear walking away because he understands that scarcity creates value, and nothing is more valuable than a man who knows exactly who he is and where he is going. 6. The man with strong principles and unshakable confidence. A man who is unwavering in his beliefs, who does not mold himself for the approval of others, commands respect without having to ask for it. Women are drawn to men who possess an inner certainty, a quiet but undeniable confidence that speaks louder than words. He does not seek permission to be who he is. He does not resist social pressure or compromise his values to gain favor. Instead, he stands firm, unshaken by opinions, unbothered by rejection, and unwilling to change simply to be liked. The man who knows when to say no without hesitation radiates power. He does not feel the need to justify his decisions or explain himself to those who do not understand. He is not swayed by the momentary emotions of others or pressured by societal expectations. When a woman senses that he cannot be manipulated and his feelings are not easily influenced, she sees him as someone worth respecting. And where there is respect, attraction follows. Most men make the mistake of seeking validation, of bending to fit into what they believe women want. But in doing so, they lose the essence of what makes them attractive. The man who stops looking for approval from women or anyone becomes a force of nature. He does not need to be aggressive, boastful, or loud. His presence alone is enough to command attention. Women sense their independence, certainty, and refusal to compromise, and it intrigues them. A man who knows what he wants and refuses to settle does not need to prove himself. He does not need to convince anyone of his worth. His actions speak for themselves. He leads his life with conviction, and that, more than charm or appearance, makes him undeniably attractive. This man walks into a room and turns heads without saying a word. He is not cold, but he is not overly available. He does not seek approval, but he naturally earns admiration. His boundaries are clear, his standards are high, and he does not waver when tested. When he says no, it is final. When he makes a decision, he does not look back. This level of certainty is rare, and anything rare is valuable. A woman might be used to men who try too hard, bend over backward for her attention, and hesitate in fear of losing her. But she feels something different when she encounters a man who does not depend on her validation, who does not seek to impress her but simply exists in his power. He is a challenge, not because he plays games, but because he knows his worth and refuses to compromise. In a world where many men chase, the man who does not chase becomes the one women desire, not because he is playing hard to get, but because he genuinely does not feel the need to pursue those who do not match his standards. He has options, and more importantly, he has himself. A man like this does not need to prove his value, his existence does that for him. 7. The man who makes her life feel exciting and worth living. A woman is not just looking for companionship, she seeks an experience, a journey, and a sense of wonder that makes life feel more affluent, vibrant, and alive. She wants to be swept into a world of adventure, passion, and discovery. A man who brings excitement into her life is the one she remembers, who lingers in her thoughts long after he's gone. She may not always be able to put it into words, but deep down she is drawn to the energy of a man who refuses to live a mundane existence. He does not simply go through the motions of life, waking up, working, and repeating the same patterns day after day. Instead, he constantly challenges himself, seeks new experiences, and lives in a way that keeps life unpredictable and exhilarating. This energy is magnetic. It captivates her, pulls her in, and makes her feel something she doesn't think with most men, a sense that anything is possible, that life is an adventure waiting to unfold. A woman wants to be with a man who can make her heart race, not just with attraction but with anticipation, curiosity, and the thrill of the unknown. She craves spontaneity, the feeling of being swept into something bigger than herself. When a man embodies this energy, he becomes unforgettable. She doesn't just enjoy his company, she craves it. She looks forward to every interaction, wondering what exciting turn things will take next. This is why a man who makes a woman feel alive does not rely on words alone to build attraction. He does not sit across from her at a dinner table, recycling the same mundane questions, hoping to impress her with conversation alone. Instead, he invites her into experiences that create lasting memories, a spontaneous trip to a place she's never been, an impromptu adventure that pushes her beyond her comfort zone, a night filled with unexpected twists that make her heart pound with excitement. These things leave a lasting impression. These moments set him apart from the countless other men she meets. Excitement is addictive. A woman who experiences it with a man will crave more of it and more of him. She won't be able to resist the pull. She will think about him when he's not around, wondering when she will feel that rush again. This is why a man who brings adventure into a woman's life never becomes an afterthought. He never fades into the background. He becomes the one she talks about, the one she compares others to, the one she keeps coming back to, because life with him feels like something worth living. Attraction isn't about tricks, gimmicks, or chasing validation. It's about who you become as a man. The most desirable men aren't the ones trying to impress women. They're the ones who focus on growth, purpose, and unshakable confidence. When you master the art of building tension, walking away when necessary, creating deep emotional and physical connection, and standing firm in your values, you naturally become irresistible. Women are drawn to men who lead their lives, bring excitement and purpose into every moment, and never let external validation define their worth. So stop focusing on winning women over. Focus on building a life so compelling that women want to be a part of it. When you do that, attraction happens effortlessly. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you experienced this shift in mindset? What traits have made the most significant difference in your journey? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more insights on self-improvement, attraction, and the psychology of relationships. See you in the next one.